Well, what a day of Test cricket we've had. The third day is just done between India and England here at Edgbaston, and it's game on here. Both teams firmly in it, but you gotta say India are slightly ahead here given their 180 run lead, not after Harry Brook and Jamie Smith put on a mammoth 300 run partnership, and it was an innings of two different kinds there for England, right? Because he had this mammoth 300 run partnership, and on the other hand, they had six ducks. And we'll be discussing all that and more in our podcast. But welcome back to Boundary Line Podcast, guys. My name is Dylan Pink and Sheldon Dehurdy on the show with me as usual. And what a day of Test cricket. It couldn't get any better. And this is why you absolutely love Test cricket, Sheldon. You know, we've seen six ducks, we've seen a bowler taking five wickets, we've seen a double hundred, we've seen 180, and we've seen, I don't know what, we've seen like bad shots, we've seen good shots, we've seen everything here in this test match itself, and records breaking all throughout these two tests. If we take it into consideration, we've seen everything so far, and it's a riveting test match here, set up well for the next 2 days. And at the end of the third day, India are 244 runs ahead, courtesy that 180 run lead. May have been much more if they had to get wickets earlier, but can't blame them enough there, because Harry Brook and Jamie Smith played a brilliant knock there, and England in the end 407 is all that they could manage in 90 overs, and India of course scoring 587, and now they are leading by 244 runs. Sheldon, your thoughts on the game? What did you think of it? Must be a happy guy that England finally got to that score after they were 84 for 5. It could have been much worse, Sheldon, but you've got to say Harry Brook, Jamie Smith, well played in the end.
Oh, Dill, I mean, how do you sum up that day of Test cricket, right? I mean, it was ebbs, flows. At one point, it was seaming around. At one point, it was flat as anything, and then again, it started doing a bit. I mean, oh, that's Test cricket, Dill. That it was just a crazy day. I mean, if you want to show any neutral a day of Test cricket, show them this day, right, Dill? You just can't explain it, because even people who watch Test cricket, Dill, like me and you, keep getting surprised by what we see. Even us who watch a lot of Test cricket, because till the first, I'd say, 10 overs at least were all India. Siraj and Deep as well. They were brilliant. They got Stokes and Root out early. They were well on top. 80 for 5 till England. At that point, England probably would have thought they'll be batting again by the second session. They'll be following on. But I mean, the way Smith came out, I think no one told him the score when he came out to bat. I think someone said, Smith, yeah, it's 300 for 5, go out and bat. I mean, he came out and, yes, you can say reckless. You can say, yes, perhaps he was going for it. But that was amazing, Delight. I really didn't expect that partnership as well. Even I think any firm believer of England, any fan of England also, at 80 for 5 would have been like, okay, you know what? No. It's going to all come crashing down in this session. But that partnership, Dill, came almost out of nowhere, and by lunch, Smith was on 100, Dill. I mean, that was just insane. And I mean, Brook, I thought also, Dill, very composed innings. I thought it was, he played more like a Root innings than a Brook innings, Dill, the way he played. It was very calm. In fact, Smith was playing more like Brook when you look at it. He was more aggressive, but Brook was playing in a very composed manner, and I thought that partnership, Dill, came out of nowhere, but it was very much needed for England at that stage, Dill.
Yeah, Sheldon, because they started on 77, right? And then they lost two quick wickets there. Siraj on a hat-trick there right at the start in the fourth over almost there. And they were 84 for 5 reeling. And suddenly you have 172 runs scored in the session. And it's like, is this for real? Like 172 runs in the morning session after being 5 down. And suddenly India are thinking that, oh my God, these guys can really get past us now. Right, and they've tried everything, Sheldon. You can't blame Shubman Gill here. He's tried almost everything. Yes, at times he went, he didn't go the attacking mode there, but you can't attack constantly, right? You can't keep going hard every time. You've got to give your fast bowlers a rest also. But in the end, Sheldon, there that 158 from Harry Brook, 184 not out there from Jamie Smith, I thought really, really showed where England are right now in red ball cricket, because this is what you watch Test cricket for. Your team is 84 for 5, they're down and out, they're staring at a defeat, literally a defeat there in the eyes, and they come out and play. counter-attacking cricket, and that's brilliant. They took on Prasidh Krishna, they took on Siraj, they took on Akashdeep, they took on every bowler whatsoever, and they didn't spare anybody. Attacking cricket at its best. The next session went for 102 runs, and you're suddenly thinking that can we, like, where do we stop these guys? All right, and India almost ran out of answers, but then the second new ball and Akashdeep with that brilliant ball Sheldon to get rid of Harry Brook there. And in the end, Jamie Smith left stranded on 184. In doing so, he's gone past Alex Stewart's record also of being the highest test score by an England wicketkeeper. Your thoughts on just the way England played here today? Because, like I said earlier, a tale of two halves there, basically, right? Because that mammoth score and then six ducks. They just scored, I think, 20 runs for their last few wickets, if I'm not mistaken.
Five
Nine
wickets, yeah.
overs or
Last
something like
five.
that. Five wickets falling for like 20 runs. No one talks about that in the end, India in the last test, of course, falling the tail there. But this time around, once the new ball was taken, Sheldon, India meant business and they stormed right back in before they could do further damage.
Yeah, I mean that last spell from Siraj and Deep was just brilliant. The way they ripped through that low order, didn't have a chance. Almost, I think there were three ducks there as well from the tail. I mean, India just blew through. Siraj brilliant, Deep brilliant. Siraj finally getting his wickets as well. He was very unlucky in the first test that he didn't get more wickets. I thought he was brilliant on that last day as well in the first test, and today he reaped all those rewards because all the wickets came, and he was brilliant yesterday as well. On the second day, both of them took a wicket, so I thought well deserved there. But yeah, Dil, you mentioned that partnership in particular, right? And you'd say in the second session it looked a bit slower from what they were saying, and it was still over 100 runs, right, Dil? As you mentioned, it's 100 runs, and that's slow nowadays in a session, right? And I was actually impressed by the way they batted there, because I thought the ball got a bit older and it wasn't as comfortable for them to attack as it was in the first session. But they showed real smarts the way they batted. And I mean, Smith, he just burst onto the scene for England. He came in last summer, big calls. They dropped Folks, they dropped Bairstow. They brought in Jamie Smith. They said he's our guy. We're going to give him an opportunity. And he's just taken it with both hands. He started off brilliantly. And I thought even last game, even on that last day, he played a very good knock. Yes, it was a cameo in the day, but he showed real maturity. And he doesn't look a number seven, Dil. I'm sure he's going to bat high up the order. I mean, there's no way he's going to bat at number seven throughout his career, because he looks like he has a very solid technique, and he's got a very mature. He looks very mature. So I think he could bat up the order. So far from what I've seen of him, he looks a top batter.
Yeah, brilliant from Jamie Smith. I was really impressed by him. Like Brook, of course, we know, 99 in the last test. And he just showed that, this time around the hundreds there for the taking, and he's gone past 150 again, Sheldon. I think it's the seventh or eighth time he's gone past, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Something like that. All right. And really shown that why he's, ranked high up there, and a true, a modern day legend. I think Harry Brook, he's going to play for England for a very long time. You can see there, dug it in, like, his team was down and out, stayed there, played really hard, left the good balls away, like, and the bad balls, he was just brutal on them. And Jamie Smith also, brilliant knock there, for a wicketkeeper coming and counter-attacking at its best, took on Prasidh Krishna then to the cleaners, really, and Prasidh Krishna had no answer, and I'm sure after this spell of Prasidh Krishna, I don't think so he's going to play the next test after this, because a lot rested on him, to also be there for the team and, bowl really well in the right areas, but you can't contain, that much, and the way he bowled was not that impressive, I should say. But you can't do anything against, when you have these such good batsmen. They were just like hitting every ball out of the park there. But let's come to Shubman Gill, Sheldon. 269, of course, in the first innings there. Captain's knock, brilliant play, of course, and captaining the side also, that he's answered his critics really well, Sheldon, I should say. Shubman Gill, a legend again in the making, following the King's footsteps, you would say, in that legacy. And he's got a daddy 100 here, I should say, a very big, a double daddy 100, I should say there. And what a knock that was, Sheldon, to come back, to be in the field for so long, captaining the side, watching the opposition go at your bowlers. There's nothing much you can do about it, but I think he held his nerve there and he really marshaled the troops really well. But the media and, the other people, I think, are too harsh on him, right?
Yeah, Dil, I mean, when you look at Gill, what a knock, Dil, a brilliant knock, and it might in the end be the match-winning knock. I think it might be. We obviously still 2 days, don't want to say anything, but I think it will be the difference in the end because he did also take India from a 450 score to a 580, Dil, which
Yeah.
is a big difference when you look at it. I mean, that's probably the difference in the end with the leads. Gill's knock, the fact that he went on, he made a big score, Dil, as we saw, and I mean, absolutely brilliant backing up his 100 as well at Leeds. Two matches, 200s, and still people criticize you. Dil, what can you do, right? I mean, it's insane. But yeah, as a batter, Dil, he's doing, more than anyone can ask for. I mean, he's come to number four as well, somewhere he hasn't batted for India before, but he's come in, and he looks suited, Dil, to number four more than he did in the top three in Test cricket. It just seems to suit him. He Obviously the openers help out too because they do brilliantly to see off the new ball, Dil. And then when he comes in, he looks like he's more composed as well, Dil. He's taking a bit more time. He's prepared to be patient. Something where he used to probably rush it a bit, like we saw in Australia. He rushed himself a bit.
Yeah.
Tried to attack too early,
Yeah.
but he seems like he's giving himself more time. And yeah, Dil, a superb knock, Dil. I mean, a true captain's knock when you're 1-0 down, when everyone's criticizing your team selection as well. You come out. I'm sure he's glad he lost the toss, right, Dil? I mean, again, he lost the toss. I don't think he'll mind that. But yeah, a brilliant knock, and he really led the way for India on those first 2 days, Dil.
Coming to the toss, there a lot of questions going to be asked now. The way this test goes from here, Sheldon. Ben Stokes obviously gambling there with the toss, and of course loves to chase there, given the thing. But the bowlers, you got to feel for them also, Sheldon. You could see now England's bowlers getting really down and out. Brighton Cast almost on one foot there,
Yeah,
bowling. Josh Tongue obviously looking, famished there. Ben Stokes also will have to look at his back and manage his workload. And
yeah.
in the end, Sheldon, where do you see this match now go? We are into the last 2 days. Surely it's got to get into the fifth day. We are in for another exciting test there. It's going to go to the fifth day, I guess. But where do you see this now? In India, 244 ahead. Can they really take control now? They have to bat brilliantly now. We've seen, they said last time, Shubman Gill at the end of the last test said that we were aiming for 420, 430. But even if they had to get that on that pitch, the England would have chased that down, I felt. But here, what should they get over here, for them to feel, okay, fine, we can get England out now if we get probably a 450, 460 score there. Do you think that's more than enough for them?
Oh, Dil, I mean, it's tricky, right? I think India have to be ruthless tomorrow, Dil. I mean, India have missed some chances to bat England out of the game, or bowl England out of the game. But tomorrow is the day India have to be as ruthless as possible, Dil. They need to, even if they can't get to 500, Dil, get to 500 maybe. There's enough time, get a burst in that last session at England because you can't leave it where it's 350 400 till. If you leave it 350 400, I think England are still in the game. I think you can't leave it where, oh, it comes to last day and England are still in with a chance. No, I think India will be kicking themselves if it comes down to that again. India have played, they've been the better team this game, no doubt. Since the toss, the way they batted on day one, the way they batted on day two, apart from that 300-run partnership, which is a big partnership, I think India have been well on top till throughout. I mean, they bowled really well today. I think they out bowled England today in this game so far. I mean, with the new ball, with the old ball, I thought they were better. So I think India will want to get to 500. Maybe that's asking for too much also, Dil, but I think once you get past 400, it is tough, Dil. No matter what. Even if a team loves chasing anything above 400, and I think India will be happy. What do you think, Dil? Is 400 the target, or you'd go way higher?
I think they should look at getting, the overall score to 400 plus, 450 plus. I would say, get a score of 300. Then if you add the lead on there, it's 480.
Yeah.
So I think they will be safe at that end. You also got to factor in bowling out to England also because you've seen here this pitch. I don't know if it's gonna like get worse, as the 2 days go. They apparently there's rain around the corner also. We don't know if we're going to get
Of
all,
course.
England, of course, man, in July. You can't really complain there, but that's what you sign up for when you play these test matches in England there. But like I was saying, you got to factor in also bowling out England. You need to give yourself enough time because you've seen here 90 overs it has taken you now to bowl out England, and that's when the tail didn't perform. You didn't have Joe
Yeah.
Root perform, Ollie Pope, Ben Stokes, all these guys didn't perform, and that's why 90 overs now. You got to factor in if they score some runs, how much more overs are you going to get? You need to have around 90 plus overs at least to bowl the side out, and I don't think so. The pitch is gonna make much of a difference. It's gonna stay
Yeah.
flat, I think, at least for another day, a day and a half. But it'll be interesting to see how India play this. They've got to come out all guns blazing, like you said. They got to be positive and they got to bat them out in this innings. There's no way of letting them even a slight glimmer of hope for England, to get back into this game because then we all know what England can do. They're not afraid to chase even 400, 420,
Yeah.
right? And another thing, Sheldon, that we need to discuss is a lot of chat around, whether Kuldeep would have made a difference. Bumrah, of course, should have played. I still stand by that. Bumrah had to be playing this test match there, but you got to think that the gap between this test and the next test is just 4 days there. But Kuldeep, there's a lot of chat that Kuldeep should have played. You've seen Jadeja and Washington Sundar not getting enough purchase from the wicket there. Do you think Kuldeep would have made a difference on this track there? Spinners going for absolutely nothing here. But do you think that his inclusion would have made a lot there? But keep in mind, Washington Sundar had that big partnership with Shubman Gill. A lot of people speaking about that now. What's your take on it?
Oh, I mean, Dil, with the spinner option, I think Sundar's partnership justified his selection. Dil, his partnership with Gill. I mean, when you look at the two lower orders and how they went in the first innings, that was big. I mean, that
Yeah.
was a big partnership with Gill to take India from what would have been a 400 odd score to 500 odd score, which is a big difference in this kind of game, Dil. So yeah, I think his batting alone justified it. It definitely added some depth to India's batting and was much needed. You look at Kuldeep Gill, in hindsight, it's wonderful, right? You can say, yeah. Now, obviously, they did. I think I would have played Kuldeep at the start, like before a ball was bowled. I would have played Kuldeep and Bumrah. I thought in a must win game, I would have played both of them because I think they're India's two most attacking bowlers, two guys who are wicket taking bowlers as well. Dil. While
Yeah.
Jadeja and Sundar give you more control, I think
Mm.
Kuldeep's more wicket taking option. So
Yeah.
perhaps I would have gone with Kuldeep, but Sundar's done well. Dil. Definitely with the bat, his runs were key. And Bumrah, I mean, yes, I know India probably will still win this game, and now everyone will be saying what a brilliant call it was, right? Bumrah rested and we win. But I still feel I would have played Bumrah in this game just because, it was a must-win game. So yeah, I still feel they should have gone, but hey, what a win, alright, Dil. The team looks pretty fine, right, by how they're performing so far.
Well, yes, Akashdeep, Siraj bowling
Yeah,
really well there.
Akashdeep,
They've
yeah.
taken all the wickets. 6 wickets for Siraj, 4 wickets for Akashdeep there, and nothing for the other bowlers there in the end. But India firmly ahead in this test match now. 244 runs is what they are ahead by, and they're looking to gain control there on the fourth day tomorrow. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a brilliant, brilliant test match. You can almost see it coming. It's going into the fifth day there, and you can never say it's test cricket, right? Any team can still win this. Both these teams are playing really, really hard there to win this test match, and oh man, test cricket is just the best. It's absolutely the best, and everybody there in the stands, I think, are getting their money's worth. They've seen it all. Records been broken left, right, center there on all these 3 days, and we are in for a riveting test match. Thank you so much for watching the video. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing it to you. Do stay tuned to Boundary Line Podcast for more such videos, and we'll see you soon in the next one. Bye.